Hello, I'm Alicia Davis,
And I'm Stacy Watson.
and we are the owners of Transformative Leadership Strategies, a coaching, training, and team building company. And, Stacey, we always love to bring new resources to our audience, right? And for those of you who are listening, we work with leaders, teams, and organizations all the time. And you found this really great article that inspired both of us from Harvard Business Review, right?
Yeah, it really did inspire both of us quite a bit. And the title of the article is Sustaining Hope in Uncertain Times. And I first brought it to a group of CEOs. We both have CEO forum groups that we meet with. And
Mhm.
I brought this article to my group, and I just had heard them over, the last year or so in particular, talking about the challenge of helping their teams continue to feel like there was hope that things would feel less, all the things, right? Less stressful,
Right.
less anxiety, less volatility, all the things that I think all organizations have experienced over this last
That's right.
year. And so this
That's
article
right.
really talked about it, and it talked about hope in a really inspiring and practical way. And so I love you made a couple of slides out of it for another session that we're doing on the topic of hope. So maybe you could talk about this piece of it because it was very
Yeah.
inspiring.
Well, it was, and this is from a scientist at Gallup in this article, and how he defined hope was it felt very tangible to I think both of us. And it's a belief, of course. It's a belief that the future will be better than the present. But it's not just having that belief, right, Stace? I think this is what got us too. It's coupled with another belief that you have the power to make it happen, right? And
Yes.
it's this combination of how do we have optimism and how do we also have personal agency and take action? And I think that was what was really inspiring to us, right?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things that they talk about in the article is that without that personal agency piece, it's kind of just wishful thinking. And while it's fine to daydream, I think sometimes the wishful thinking part of hope feels unattainable. And I think that's where this
Right.
personal agency piece really matters, because it just invites us to find even one or two small things that we can do as we begin to vision what it might look like if the future were better than the present. Like literally, what might be
like
different.
like literally. And I'm just going to show a couple of slides from this presentation because we just the two we talked about they talked about a couple of steps in this article, and the first step is what you just said, Stace, is to really be able to use our imagination first. And we
Mhm.
get so caught up in the day to day, getting the things checked off the list, just dealing with what's in front of us. Oftentimes it's just taking a few moments to just sit back, take a few deep breaths, and just imagine what might be different. And what I love that they talked about in this article was just always like using all of our senses, like being in that future state, right? What are you seeing? What are you smelling? What are you tasting? What are you hearing? To just be there for a few moments to just get that full body experience, right?
Yes, in fact, I'm smiling because I'm remembering that I had dinner with a friend a couple of weekends ago, and he told us a couple of stories about times where he had been really wanting different housing. And so he, in two different times in his life, wrote down on a piece of paper all of the things that he was looking for in the next
Yep.
place that he would live, and
Yep.
sealed it in an envelope, didn't share it with anyone. In one instance, kind of forgot about it. And then in both instances, he found himself in this new living arrangement. And when he went back to look, it was almost identical to what he had imagined. And really, it goes to show the power of visualization, right? The power of getting into that much detail. I mean, he had it down to where the windows were and where the sun came in and all of that. So I just thought that was a really interesting example of what you're talking about and what they're talking about in this article.
Well, it's so true. And my partner Kate and I have done similar things. And my guess is that that person that you were just describing probably also didn't just do that. He probably did that and then took action, right? Like that is part of this process of, or this idea of, we can imagine it, then we have to take action. And
Yes.
what we thought, we also just really wanted to briefly mention these four aspects of areas to consider taking action in. And one of them is about behaviors, right? So, like I know for us, when we were looking for a house, like we were looking for a house, right? We were talking to people, we were going on the open houses, like, and so like looking at what are you doing? Do you need to do more of something, less of something, something with more consistency, right? Are there relationships that you need to build or strengthen or maybe let go of, right? As you look at different aspects of life, right? And then the last two, right? Learning, is there something that I need to just an ability or a skill that I want to strengthen or develop, and or what are my beliefs, right? What do I need to change or let go of, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think this idea that we have agency is something that is easy to sort of forget or become a little disconnected from when we are feeling anxiety and stress and feeling like things are a little out of control. And I know a lot of times when we're talking to folks, even about finding balance in their life between work and home, we're feeling it in my house right now. It's really difficult sometimes to feel like there is any agency in that. And so I
Right.
think in order to have hope that things will be different, having some kind of plan, even if it's small steps, one thing, two things that you can do, can just make all the difference, if nothing else, to remind us that we do have some agency in this. And that's kind of what makes us human, right? The ability to
That's
hope.
ex- that's exactly right. And we just wanted to also share. We just both love this Barack Obama quote, that hope is that thing inside us that insists, despite all the evidence to the contrary, that something better awaits us if we have the courage to reach for it and to work for it and to fight for it.
Yes,
I think there's nothing else to say after that quote from Mr. Former President Barack Obama.
I would agree. So
Thank you
thank
all
you
so much for
all.
listening. And
We'll look forward to
please,
talking to you soon.
yes, take good care.